during this podcast, from this episode to many others, you're going to hear me say, man, life is short. Life is so short. Life is short. You just don't even realize how short it is. Mm-hmm. So there are going to be people along the way that will discourage you. It may be family members. It may be your parents. Mm-hmm. It may be your coach. Because I've seen coaches just destroy people, whether they meant to do it or not.
Tell your the story you would tell the nephew this weekend.
I played basketball in high school. I was a basketball athlete. Okay, I made varsity when I was in 10th grade. I had a coach that he's very disciplinarian, but he was not one of those people that he wasn't going to try to help further you after high school. To me, that is a huge position to have as a high school coach, especially 12th grade, because those kids are coming up on a crossroad where you have a tremendous opportunity to help those kids go further in life. And it doesn't take much. And you have to remember the time era we grew up in, there was no internet. Internet wasn't there. YouTube wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Social media wasn't there. So you couldn't, if you were going to sell yourself, so to speak, or market yourself, you had to put on VHS tape, because putting it on the CD was probably out of the question. Anyway, that's a very powerful position to be able to help kids. Well, a lot of coaches in that era, and probably still to this day, I see it all the time. It just kills me to see these coaches. They couldn't care less about these kids' future, and that's really the position they hold. Whether I'm gonna help you or not is totally up to me. So my coach was not interested in helping me when I became a senior. After our season ended, like we almost went to state because we were just that good. After the season was over, the coach comes and hands me a shoebox full of letters from colleges that were interested in me. Some dated all the way back to when I was in 10th grade. More letters when I was in 11th grade. A boatload of letters when I was in 12th grade. He would have been better off just taking that box and throwing it in the trash. Because some of these letters, they were 2-3 times. They would say, well, this is our third attempt to contact you. We wanted to set up a visit for you to come check out our campus, and we haven't heard back from you. So we just assume you're not interested. Well, he hands me the letters, and I take them home. My mom sees them. I'm a mama's boy. I probably didn't have to be in that incident, but I was. My mom went through the roof, totally angry.
Rightfully so.
Right. Mm-hmm. She goes to the school, turns the school upside down. How dare you do this to my son? And they did absolutely nothing. They're like, well, we'll look into it. But, I don't know what you as a mom expect us to do about letters dated from 2 years ago, where those people clearly have moved on, probably. Mm-hmm. So, ma'am, we're sorry this happened. My mom wanted the coach fired, or it didn't happen. So, anyway, to back up before I received those letters, since we want to discuss God today. Mm-hmm. The coach had no intention on moving me forward after high school, but there was another player on our team that he did look out for. Mm-hmm. And so these college coaches, scouts, he would let them come into practice to watch this guy. This guy was 6'6". His name was all over the papers, quite often, because back then 6'6" was tall. Mm-hmm. Now 6'11" is tall. Mm-hmm. But there wasn't a lot of 6'6" back then, but he was the coach looked out for him and said, well, yeah. So these coaches came from New York. He let them in practice because they want to check him out. Well, they're checking him out, and they end up not wanting him. They want me. So they end up leaving, coming back again, maybe a month or so later, view another practice, and they offer me a scholarship for 5 years.
Wow.
So I end up on a 5-year basketball scholarship after this guy holds the whole shoebox of letters where, yeah, it was some really good schools in there that, I was interested in. But God said, what you meant for evil, I took and made good from it. So I ended up signing a letter of intent and going to college off of scouts that weren't even there to see me. So again, this is God looking out for me way back when I was a teenager. And like I tell people all the time, I know my mom and my grandmother prayed for me the way my life has gone. So I can't do nothing but be grateful and thankful, because it's almost, some of this stuff is, you would almost have to see it to believe some of the things that have happened in my life, but it's awesome.